Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and this one's awesome. It's with Dave Segovia and Bryan Bingham, two-thirds of Sunbird Barbecue in Longview, Texas. This one is wonderful because this is the first time I've spoken to Dave, and he's an integral part of Sunbird Barbecue, and a lot of people haven't heard from him or they don't know his backstory. And we get this. So we get to find out how Dave got involved and how he ended up working at Bodacious, and then when they switched to Sunbird because of events, and they discuss those here. And there's also a companion interview that I did a year ago with Bryan about Sunbird and Bodacious and the whole thing. So you can get that information there. But it's interesting to get Dave's side of the story and also to see the dynamic between Dave and Bryan, and you see it specifically in this interview. And then later on, about midway through the interview, the two of them talk about what it's like to work together and how important it is to have almost like a work marriage and to understand each other. And especially because Bryan was Dave's boss and Dave was Bryan's employee, and now they are business partners. So how do you make that work? There's a lot of lessons to be learned from this. They've learned a lot, and I think this interview will shine a light on that, and also shine a light if you're having certain issues with employees or you're working at a place. This might maybe give you the opportunity to discuss things or to reevaluate what you're thinking. This one's just, it's killer. We talk all about Sunbird, their menu, the location, the future plans, the brick and mortar. If you're watching on the YouTube side, you see a little glimpse of the brick and mortar. Bryan moves the camera so you could see it. They're going to be gutting that out maybe in a couple months. Possibly they'll be able to be serving food at this place. And also they'll be working on a video for the barbecue joints and pit tour series that I have going on, and then to show the entire location and probably get a glimpse of the brick and mortar at that time as well. So stay tuned for that. But this one is just, it's killer. I know you guys are gonna like it so much. I'm not gonna talk anymore. I can't thank David and Bryan enough for sitting down, taking the time. They're outside between their trailer, which was an Evie Mae's trailer, and the Centex 1000 pit, which is, they talk all about the pit too, the Centex pit, and how incredible it is. And so this is, it's really cool. It's a really cool setting, and it's a really cool vibe, and I know you guys are going to enjoy this. I have a website at kevinsbbqjoints.com. But at the end, stay safe, visit your local barbecue joint, and definitely visit Sunbird in Longview. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. till sold out. And if you go online, I'll put links to all the social media below. They do put the specials the night before, so you could check out that. Good afternoon, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Dave. And this is the first time you've been on the show, so I'm extremely excited to have
Woohoo!
that.
I'm here.
He
Yeah.
exists.
I do exist.
You exist. Yeah, now there's proof that you. So, Bryan, you and I have talked a number of times. I think this might even be our third or fourth.
Yeah, it's at least the third or fourth time, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And then, so Dave, can you give, because we'll go into Sunbird and how it's been. It's been about a year since I spoke to you, since you guys left Bodacious. But Dave, what is your background and where did you grow up?
So I grew up in the Longview, Texas area.
Oh, okay.
And always had a passion for the grilling, smoking. So you could say that I was a backyard griller.
Okay.
Making my way towards what I thought was going to be what I wanted to do, which was like the steak cook-off competition, the, things like that. I did start to have some things in my backyard where guys would come over, they would taste what I had done.
Okay.
And the passion just grew from there.
So were you doing steak or were you doing full cooks with?
Actually, I was doing just different things. I mean, I was just creating, and there just happened to be in the neighborhood that I lived in, there was people that were off the same days I was, because I was only working 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. So I would take Friday and I would just cook, wings or just whatever.
That's cool.
And so I would invite them over just to taste and do things. And I started to, want to do bigger things with it. I had always had a passion to do maybe competition cooking. So I was practicing on that, starting to get a lot of, notice from people with brands and things like that. But I always knew that there was something bigger, so to speak. Not that I'm saying that that's not big, but my passion started growing more towards having my own setup. so to speak. I mean, just really the way it happened was I made that decision, and it came up at a time that Bryan had posted that he was looking for somebody to come along and basically, get involved with it. And there was another barbecue place and another barbecue place I was trying to hire at the same time, but it wasn't about changing jobs. Who wants to leave a 4-day work week?
Yeah.
And, have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off to go into something that's going to be very labor intensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I made up my mind that that's what I wanted to do, enough that I would explore the option. I went in to sit down with Bryan and talk to Bryan. And I just think it was just the chemistry that he and I had when we were talking. And this was not, again, a job that I wanted to go and do and change. But if I was going to go into it at a deeper level, why not go to what I refer to as one of the best? So that's what I did.
So you had eaten at Bodacious. You had eaten his food before.
Yes, and followed him online. He followed me. I followed him. I think we exchanged some comments on a post, maybe. But when I sat down with him, that's when the magic happened. I think it was just one of those things where at the end of it, it was like, and I haven't even told my wife what I was going to go do on a Friday that I was off.
I almost thought you said that. I haven't told my wife about what you're doing right now. I'm like, that's.
I mean, if it didn't pan out,
yeah.
Hey, she wouldn't have been any of the wiser.
Yeah.
But, and I say that now, and I hope she doesn't take this out on me. But I mean, it just happened. And the chemistry, you were kind of putting
your feelers out, kind of like to see.
Yes, exactly. And I knew when I got up and left that this is what I wanted to do, especially from someone of Bryan's, caliber, so to speak.
Yeah.
He was very serious. His passion was right on. It wasn't just, okay, here you are, you're going to serve barbecue. He was like, I want somebody with the same passion that I have. And we just meshed. And by the time I got up to leave, I knew that I had to go home and explain to my wife how I was leaving this job to go and do barbecue. And
what was the job?
I was working at a document shredding company.
Ah.
And so, it was very labor intensive as well, and I had high security access to a lot of federal buildings.
It's a big deal.
Things like that. I always joked about I don't even think I told Bryan this, but I had more access to even the White House than anybody else did, because my name was in the system, that I was okay to go
cleared,
take care of their documents they needed. If it ever got to that point, it would have to go far down the chain for them to come to lonely old me in Longview, Texas. But I'm saying,
if someone needs a secret mission, they can come to you for a secret mission.
I was cleared. I was cleared by the government, so to speak.
Okay.
And so I had to go home and explain to my wife, that, and she knew what I was doing on Fridays when I was off. I was having guys over, just cooking and things like that. She knew the passion.
Yeah.
And God bless her. She's had to endure a lot of barbecue. Just everything that could go on a grill or in a pit or on a smoker, it was going to happen. So, but when I left there that Friday, I knew that, I had found a connection with someone.
And Bryan, did you know at that time that this was going that direction? Did you feel like?
Yeah, so basically everything that he said, just to fill in the other side of it. So I had just lost. I had just fired one of the other employees that I had at Bodacious, and it was just me. I was doing all the cooking, the cutting, everything. It was just me, and I had made a post, hiring, and David responded. He said, "Hey man, I might be interested in the job, what's the pay and what are you expecting and things like that." And so I was honest with him, and I told him, and he told me, I want to come in for an interview. And so he came in, and just literally, just like he said, I saw so much of my beginnings in him because I was the same way. I was a backyard guy. I was super passionate about it. It consumed all of my free time. So I saw all of that in him, and like it just immediately, like I knew the moment that I met him that I wanted to work with him. You know, a lot of barbecue people say that when they hire someone, they want someone with no experience, so they have a blank canvas. And I get that, but I also think that the fact that David had an understanding, it was a lot easier for me to teach him, you know, how to do it in a restaurant setting because he already had the basic building blocks of how to cook food. Not to call him old because he gives me crap about it, but because of his
He's probably my age.
he's so much more mature even than I am. You know, like he's a grown man, so he was mature and he knew what he wanted. He was very honest and direct with me. There was no lying or beating around the bush. It was a matter of, hey, this is what I need if you want me to come work for you. And I was like, whatever. Literally, when I met him, I knew, I was like, whatever you need, I will do whatever I have to do to make it happen. Just because I just knew, I saw that in him. And clearly now, if you look down the road, it was the right decision.
I didn't know any of this at all. I didn't know. And so then did you work at Bodacious then for a little bit, or
okay? He was there with me for over a year.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know. I didn't know the inner workings, I guess. Okay.
So everything, like whenever you had interviewed me last with Kimmy, he was there before Kimmy. So
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy in the background that, you know, if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see that, you know, I think I might have taken it off now recently, but I just said, look, I'm a dishwasher. You know, that's what I do. And that's what I do best. But in jest, I'm like, you know, I've taken everything in and I have found out what it is on this side. No one knows what it is on this side to open up your own place, much less just work in at the time we were still in a number 4 place on Texas Monthly. You know, you can't get away from that. Once you're on the list, you're on the list. It doesn't go away with people. It goes away if your food suffers. So when I got with Bryan, he was just like, the number one thing I remembered him saying to me was, you don't serve anything you would not serve your family. And I took that to heart because I everything that came out of what I'm going to deem our kitchen was what I would serve my own family. And that's why we were able to carry on beyond Bodacious. You know, so it was just a win-win situation.
Wow.
You know, just a lot of people just don't know that there's another face to what's going on here.
Well, also too, Bryan, your social media presence is you're creative and off kilter, and you pun, like you use puns a lot and music references, and so you've created a social media presence just being yourself. And so
that's always been super important to me. Like outside of everything, it's always been super important to me to have like an online presence, because we even have customers that will come in like in the late afternoon. They're like, well, I only came in because of y'all's social media posts or things like that. And even just like my own personal page, like I've had people that will like, you know, message or call or show up wanting to order something just because they saw me post it on my personal page.
Wow.
So
that's,
you know, it's always been super important to me to have that.
That's probably why more people know about.
And I've been doing it, you know, like when we were at Bodacious, like when I took it over, it was more about me, you know, but now that we're here, I'm trying really hard to make sure that everyone knows about, you know, David and Kimmy too, because it's not just me.
You can't just do it yourself.
I would be a giant liar if I tried to take all the credit, because I could not do anything that I do without David and Kimmy. And that's why, you know, when you reached out to me about wanting to do a follow-up, you know, I wanted to make 100% sure that David was involved, because he is just as important as I am to this operation.
That's great to hear. And I'm so glad that you wanted to bring him in. I just didn't know too, Dave, if because some people don't like to do interviews. Some people don't like to be in the limelight. It's there's some people that's just kind of, they're in the background. That's just kind of the way they go about their business. So I didn't know to ask. So this is more than expected. And I'm happy because now people will know who you are. And
what's so funny is like, there's a lot more people I would say online that know me with barbecue than know me locally. Because like, even when we were at Bodacious, like David was always the one in the front. Like he was on the block. He was the one interacting with people. Cause like, you know, when we do interviews and stuff or festivals, like I'm a little more open and comfortable. But like when it comes to the everyday operation, like I'm honestly like incredibly introverted, and I just want to focus on cooking and creating. And so I have a hard time interacting with people. And David is the complete opposite of me.
Good balance.
He is like, he's the kind of person that's never met a stranger. You know, anyone could walk up to him and they would feel like they were best friends. And I envy that of him, but it balances us out because he is that welcoming, warm personality where I'm kind of an asshole. And like people, you know, like I come across sometimes as a jerk just because I'm so closed off. Cause like, I just want to cook, you know, I'm uncomfortable talking to people sometimes. So it definitely helps having his personality in the mix too.
So was the first time that you guys cooked as Sunbird, was that the Red Dirt? Was that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we literally, so it was all 100% David's idea for us to step away. So I can create our own thing. Like I remember when me and him first interviewed and we first started getting a little more comfortable where he could tell me his plans. His whole thing was always, and like, I'm not trying to speak for you, but you know, his whole thing was always, I want to eventually retire to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and do my own thing. That was always his thing. I went into it knowing that he would eventually leave me. And, you know, circumstances happened and everything that happened with us at Bodacious, where finally it got to the point where he was the one that said, dude, why don't we open up our own place? You know, I'll be here for as long as I want to be here, but if we're going to do this, let's just do our own thing. And so, yeah, Red Dirt was literally the first thing we did as Sunbird. And then we lost our job 2 days after.
I think I spoke to you like a day later after that or something. Yeah.
Because we went into it like they did not want Bodacious to do Red Dirt. Because they didn't like closing down, and I get it. And we were asked, you know, hey, you know, does Bodacious want to do Red Dirt? I'm like, no, but I'm starting my own thing and we would do it. And they're like, okay. And so I thought, you know, I'll ask for forgiveness and not permission. And
his exact words before we did it. That's what he said.
And so that was on a Saturday, and then Monday I put in my 2 weeks, and Tuesday we quit. So
that's just and I remember that situation. And I'll put a link below to our interview that I think we spoke at your house, Bryan, about that
in my backyard,
and how that went down. But then at that point, then Dave, were you feeling like, like this is real now? Like this is because you guys had to, like, you know, what was your
head? So I'm going to tell you something that no one would ever know unless you asked. So I'm just going to say this.
Okay.
So yes, it was my ideal. And I use that term loosely because I saw what Bryan had in his passion. And we had worked long enough at that time to be able to talk serious to one another when we had to. And I knew my passion from just a standpoint of, say, administration things. You know, it wasn't just that we just went blah and went out, you know, but it's just real funny because, you know, I had said, and situations happened there at Bodacious that just, I saw the frustration in Bryan, saw it, lived it, was a part of it. But, and that's when I said, dude, let's just go out. Why don't we go out and do our own? We're killing ourselves here. How much further could we go if we just got together and went out and did this. Crash, burn, or succeed, whatever.
Yeah.
At least you'll know. So, so like he was saying, with everything with red dirt coming up, we always joke, but it's the truth. He put in his notice.
I put in everyone's notice, and then I told him
I'm washing dishes to clean up for the day's work, and he comes and tells me, we don't have a job. I just put in my notice, and oh yeah, you remember when you said that you were good with it whenever I did? Well, he did.
Oh, that's so funny.
And so I'm sitting there literally with a dish and a rag in my hand.
Oh, that's
and I'm
hilarious.
like, okay, so and then it happened. So that true story 100. That's what happened. This man.
So you're slightly blindsided by that.
he just made it happen. So, but we couldn't be as happy as we are now.
But I don't know what I believe about stuff, but I think like you manifest stuff, so it kind of got manifest, right?
I mean,
well, and the other thing that we've both always said is it's like, man, we should have done this so much sooner.
Yeah.
I mean, the reception that we've gotten here, it doesn't even hold a torch to the way we were treated over there.
Right.
When we were over there, no one cared about us. No one came over. No one visited us. We were so slow, even being the number 4 place, literally as soon as we stepped away, like so many people, they were so happy for us and excited and proud. And like, it's just been so cool. Like the community has rallied behind us. And that's not just a lie or us trying to make ourselves feel good. Like 100% the community has supported us from day one.
That's amazing. That's how nice is that? How touching is that too? That's got to make you feel.
It's just affirmation for what we did,
It's just like every step that we've made up until this point has been just confirmed by the support, by, just things happening the way they're happening. It's just confirmation to me, and then of course, Bryan, that we made the right choice. Yeah. We didn't just do this out of spite. There was no spite there. It was just, look, you got 2 guys that are ready to go out and just explode the world, but you're wanting to hold us back from being able to do that. We're ready to do our own thing. I mean, Bryan mentioned I'm not a young man. He is a young man. I don't want him to just be at 50 years old going, what if I've done this? What would happen if I would have done this? He realizes the potential that he has, and he knows it, and I do too. So whatever we can do together is only going to benefit the both of us, which benefits all of us that like craft barbecue and just barbecue, period.
And this needed to happen.
Yes, it did. It really did. It really did. I mean, to break away and let this man be able to create what he wants to without any restraints. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do my own creations with different things, but it's like, it's a win-win situation for everyone. And that was more important to me than a paycheck or a 4-day work week somewhere else or anything like that.
And that's
I'm helping him
your
to live his dream.
Yeah.
And he's helping me to achieve what I want to accomplish this late in life.
Yeah. No, so it's like that you get that, like you're probably closer to my age, and you get that in retrospect. You realize, and you could see that in Bryan, and you wanted to make sure that, and it also, it benefits you too. I was curious because I know how Kimmy reacted, because you explained that, and she was back. What did your wife think when you came home after washing that dish or putting that dish away?
I mean, so she's always been behind me, and this is not, and I say this, I've been in another business that I started and created. Things hit us differently where I had to close it down. But my wife has been a bigger supporter than I ever had.
That's so nice.
And she never said, I guess the initial thing was, anyway, what the hell do you mean? you left your job, because I had to tell her.
It was so rough.
I mean, it was like, what do you mean you left your job? I mean, you were like, you had a 4-day work week. You're this age, and I'm like, you know what? If you believe in me, you'll believe in the decision I made.
Yeah.
And she said, fine. Then I believe. So Miss K is like, she's behind me 100. She's been at festivals to help us. She works a full-time job. She manages a practice. And even after all that, she gets just as much, if not more, satisfaction from coming out on a Saturday to help us at an event. I can't say enough about it.
That's so great. That's really nice.
I can't. She's really been doing really good with all this.
That's
just
important.
being my biggest supporter.
Yeah, it's not always that case. So it's not. I've been married and divorced, so I know that it's yeah. And my passion for barbecue, even though I wasn't at the level what you guys were doing, I was the crazy man. Like, she's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you so interested in something that's like this? But I think this is a testament to your families and to everything. So did you guys, the trailer behind you, David, was that Hellberg's? I'm trying to remember I haven't listened to the interview before.
Evie Mays.
Evie Mays, yeah. Okay, it was Evie Mays, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then did you guys get a second? What pit were you guys using at the beginning?
So in the pits that we did, we used, of course, the pit that's on the trailer that we got from Evie Mays, the reverse flow pit. We started out with that. We started out with, so I want to call it a 250.
Okay.
That's on Evie Mays' old trailer, which is our trailer that we work out of.
Yeah.
Then we had really pits that Brian's dad made, and that's what we started out with. In less than a year, we have added a new pit, 1,000-gallon pit from Syntex Smokers.
That's a beautiful pit.
This is a game changer. I mean, it really is a game changer.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous pit.
So we're doing some things. We're doing some things with it that has been a game changer for us. That's what we have. We also have what we call live feed pit, or that his dad made. Brian's dad made us, where we do chicken wings. We finish out burgers on it. So we're kind of growing little by little. But the biggest game changer for us was the Syntex smoker. This thing, literally, it drives itself. And so to speak, it just, I mean, there's hardly any work to it, which is when you got 4 people, what we're doing, we have 4 people. That's it. We do everything. So you need a good pit you don't have to babysit. And with this one here, we do not have to. So that's what we're running right now.
That's
we're running the Syntex the most, and using the other ones, here and there as we need to.
Brian, can you explain what you just did, just so people like who are watching what did Brian just do? So did you just feed the fire? Is that all you did, or?
Oh yeah, I just went and put a couple logs in the fire. It's like we're normally open today. Today's Thursday. We ended up having to close, but we're open tomorrow. So we're just cooking briskets right now. So I literally just went and put like 4 sticks of wood in the fire.
Okay. All right. And so are you cooking meat right now?
Yeah. We got briskets on right now that we're cooking for tomorrow.
All right. Most people don't tell, like, I don't usually do it outdoors and do it by a pit. So it's kind of fun. Like, people, at least it'll give people like an idea, like,
it's literally just like right behind me. You can see it right there. That's our pit. Yeah.
No, it's perfect. No, people will love it. No, and I'll mention it in the intro. So that way people could say, you could also get a better chance to see the pit. So then from when is this the location, or did you move to a different location? Like, have you been at 2 locations since we spoke?
So we've always been here.
Yeah.
When we first opened, before we were ready to open the trailer, we were doing pop-ups and kind of just going where we could. But this is where we've always been. As soon as we opened, officially for the first time, we've always been.
And where is that? Where is here?
So I don't know what the exact, and we probably need to figure that out, the location for the plot of land we are on.
I could Google it.
But we have always told people next to us is a gas station. So everyone in town knows the gas station. It's called Green Top. And so we've always just used that address because literally we're right next door. We walk next door to use the kitchen and like for our prep kitchen. So we we give that address because, you know, when you're there, all you got to do is turn your head and see our big giant trailers.
So you use the prep kitchen there. And then, so are you looking behind you, Dave? Is that the back door of the trailer? Is that what I'm looking at? Or am I seeing the back door?
Back behind me.
Yeah, because that's not you serve on the other side, right?
On the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted people to get their brain around
Sure.
how it works. And then
Sure. I mean, we have a service window that is on the other side of the trailer. We have 3 flaps that are in the back of this trailer. Wonderful. We lift them up when we're cooking on this pit here. We wrap briskets, you know, from this point here. So it's a full service trailer. There's not much that we can't do on this trailer. We're just at a point where we had to add more cooking space. Somebody that's, you know, really, you know, doing their thing is they understand that you're always adding more space, cooking area. That's
the goal,
so,
is to.
Yeah, sure it is.
Are you guys open? Is it Wednesday through Saturday or is it Thursday through Saturday? Wednesday through Saturday.
Yeah, right now it's Wednesday through Saturday.
At 11 o'clock, right?
And 11 till sell out, which could be anywhere from 3 to, if it's like a slow day, we might be here till 4 or 5. Eventually we want to expand that, but right now that's just what.
So if there's someone pops in at 2, they could probably get what, like almost a full menu or ish?
It just depends. You know, I mean, we're still growing every week.
Yeah.
Every week we're getting, you know, we're still getting new customers. There's still, you know, so many people in town that'll come and be like, oh, it's the first time I've ever been. And so we're trying to slowly grow it. So it just depends, you know, on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock, sometimes you could get a full menu.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like yesterday, I think we were pretty much sold out by 2.
Yeah.
Because we had a bunch of like giant orders that hit us in the morning. So, you know, it just like anyone in barbecue, it's hard to predict.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to figure out for people that are coming through town that wanted to, if they can call you too to check in or send you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, we take call-ins Wednesday through Friday, like 8 to 10 for sure. You'll talk to someone.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just a matter of if I'm over here, because sometimes I'm in the kitchen prepping specials, or if I'm on the block and David's prepping specials. Like it just depends if someone can get to the phone. Like obviously our cashier can't answer the phone if we're busy. So it's very hit or miss. After that 10 o'clock, it's hit or miss if you'll get a hold of us.
And that would be nice if you could get, but it's also the whole game is for you to come, show up and order. What's the menu like for people that might not know what the menu is? And I noticed that you guys even do tacos do you want to kind of briefly explain the menu? And also, are you guys doing, and I've seen pictures of desserts too. I'd like to talk about that part too.
Yeah. So as far as the menu goes, you know, we have the traditional barbecue every day. So brisket, ribs, pulled pork, turkey. We make a house sausage, and then we have charro beans. And that's what we have that every single day.
Okay. Is the house sausage a standard, just like a standard beef ling?
It's a beef and pork. It's like, it's the same blend that I use for the special. It's just, we have like a seasoning that we made specifically for that sausage.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a Tex-Mex flavor, but it doesn't have anything in it but the seed. We just call it our house sausage. And like I said, we've got that every single day. And then typically right now, Wednesdays and Fridays, we're doing that loaded, we call it street corn. Some people call it elote. So we do that Wednesdays and Fridays. Typically Thursdays and Saturdays, we have either like a specialty sausage or a boudin. Man, it's just, the thing that's cool about the fact that we own our own business and we don't have to appease anyone, we can literally do whatever we want. So typically, like every week, me and David go to lunch on Tuesdays on our prep day, and we talk about business and all that, but we always talk about specials for the week. So we typically try and figure out on Tuesdays what we're going to do for the rest of the week. But it's just cool because, like, if I don't feel like making sausage or boudin, we'll do whatever we want to do. And Same
Right.
thing with Kimmy, because Kimmy does all the sides and the desserts. Like, with the exception of Wednesdays and Fridays, we've kind of dubbed those as our days for corn. You know, Thursdays and Saturdays, whatever she feels like doing, she does.
That's
And it's
nice
cool
to
because
have.
it's like,
Yeah.
we don't there's no expectations.
Nope.
But it also helps because it's like, no one can say, oh, well, if I don't go this Thursday or this Saturday, I'll go next week and get,
Right.
X, Y, or Z. It's like, no, she may not make that again for God knows how long, because, as of right now, she still works. Like, once we open the window, she works the line. So, depending on if me or David are cutting, Kimmy is garnishing and sending
Right.
plates out the window, like expediting the orders. So she's pretty limited on what she can make.
Yeah, that does make sense. And it's also, it gives you that creative freedom. There's a number of places that are creative, and you might get something one week and they might not have it again for 2 months. And that's just how,
Yeah.
whereas it was more structured where you were before.
Yeah. It was definitely before. It was like every single Wednesday I had to have boudin or P4 piss.
Right.
Every Thursday I had to have special sausage. Every Saturday I had to have burnt-ins. Now it's just, we can do whatever we want to do. And, you had mentioned the desserts. Right now, just because of time constraints and our kids being in school, because Kimmy takes our kids to school every morning and then she comes to work. So she's only really able to make desserts on Saturdays because she can get here on Saturdays. She usually gets here around like 7.
Yeah.
But during the week, she can't really get here till like 9. But she's got to take both of our boys to school.
So Saturdays are the dessert days then?
Not all the time, but if we do
roughly.
dessert, that's when.
Yeah.
Just because she also does her cornbread. If we do cornbread, it's on a Saturday. When it was cold, if we did chili or chicken and dumplings, she would do that on a Saturday.
Right.
So it just rotates. Like I said, I'm hoping that once we get to the point where we can hire 1 or 2 more people, I'm hoping to get her off the line so that she can focus on cooking.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
And that way she can more consistently have desserts or rotate sides on a more consistent basis.
So because I know that's her passion.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, it's that's what she. I mean, we talk about Bryan and what he does and what I do, but Kimmy has yet to just, in my opinion, been able to explode on what she wants to give to the barbecue community. It's everything is just made with love, and because that's what she loves to do. It's no different from what Bryan does, what I do. So, but with the constraints, of not having staff or whatever. So she'll come in as a trooper and say, okay, I think I want to make this, or we'll ask her, kindly, can you make this? Yeah. And, she'll be like, okay, yeah, I can do that. But then have to turn around and, work the line, expedite,
it's a lot,
getting customers, fed and all that. So what Kimmy does is just, if you think I'm behind the scenes, Kimmy is probably one of the other ones that's kind of behind the scenes of what she can do and what she can't do right now.
That's nice to know for for people that are curious about Sunbird. This is really good information.
Well, and I tell people all the time, Kimmy makes me look way smarter and better than I am, because a lot of what I do, I bounce a lot of ideas off of her.
Yeah.
And I think I've said it before when me and her interviewed with you, I might have an idea and she helps me develop it and turn it into a reality, or vice versa. She might say, hey, what if you did this? And I'll sit there and fool around with it and tweak it and figure it out. But Kimmy is super smart and just as crucial to the operation.
Yes.
Between the 3 of us,
yeah.
we all it wouldn't happen. And it sounds super cheesy and I'm forcing this, but it's a fact. Sunbird wouldn't happen without the 3 of us meshing together.
True.
It seems like there's been times during this interview that, Bryan, you started to speak, and before even the words are coming out of your mouth, Dave's shaking his head. It's almost like that weird twin or brotherly connection. So you guys you become really close.
Which is cool because, like, honestly, me and David used to I made when we were at lunch today, I was telling him, I was like, don't take this a weird way, but I feel like me and you, the relationship is like a marriage, you know, like there are a lot of things where sometimes, like, used to, I would get really angry and I would react, but I learned that for me and him to really grow, I had to treat it like a marriage where I had to understand that we're two different people.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can look at me and David, we're two different people, we're two different generations, but like,
right,
we jive so well together because we finally learned how to work together.
Yeah.
Like, my personality and his personality are so different.
True.
But we finally figured out how to talk to each other.
Right.
And how to work together. So we just, man, like, I don't even know if it was a month or 2 months ago. After as much time as we've been together, we just learned how to respect each other, almost, as a way to say it.
Right.
Where, like, at lunch today, for instance, you know, just to pull the curtain back, there was a conversation we had that the old us, it would have turned into a giant fight.
Yes.
Wow.
But today it was like, I stepped back, I listened to him, and I understood where he was coming from and where I was coming from, and we figured it out. And so it seems like me and him have that relationship, but we worked our ass off for it.
Yeah.
Just like me and Kimmy did when I did that interview with you.
Yeah.
You know, like, working with Kimmy, we still struggle, and me and David still struggle.
Yeah.
We do.
But we have all figured out a way to work through it.
The relationship that Bryan and I have is so important that we both had to learn how to deal with one another. We both had to understand that, yes, I come from an older generation. He comes from a younger generation. But in the end, for me, it's the respect that I have for Bryan is probably a lot more than I have respect for people my age, because Bryan gets it. He understands. He understands that, as he said in his own words, he's not here alone. It's not just him. It's me. It's Kimmy. For me, if I have to bite my tongue sometimes to let him express himself, or, you know, do the things that he really feels passionate about, I have to step back and go, hey, even though it might not make sense on paper, it makes sense to you. So it's going to make sense on paper later on. So that, to me, is more important than having a point, being right, being wrong, or just getting along. It's like he said, I hate to say it, and I don't want to be weird, but it's almost like a marriage. We're learning each other
like
on this level. Yeah. I mean, we're learning each other on this level. He knows me as an employee he hired. I know him as my boss that hired me. Now we're trying to figure out how to work together as equal partners.
Yeah.
Because I'm important, he's important. Together, we can do bigger things. Apart, we can't. So it's better for us to learn each other now than when it's gangbusters, as we know it's going to get, that we don't have to deal with this later. So yeah, we are learning each other.
And look look how much you've grown and how much you've learned and how much, like, this was a very important part of your lives. Like, this is, if you think about, like, you'll look back at this, and these were important steps within your life to become the people that you wanted to become. And that's
Sure.
You know, and it's hard. I think people will be watching this, and it's hard to take a step back from your ego, or it's hard to take a step back when you're in, especially if you're in close quarters, or you're and you know you're right in your head, you know you're right. It's hard in life. So
that's the thing, man. Like, you know, like David said a second ago, like, when me and him first met, I was his boss. So it was very hard for me mentally to understand that when we stepped away, that it's not just my decision anymore, it's ours.
Yeah.
And it was hard. Like, I won't lie. Like, I had to fight really hard within my own self to not try and tell him what to do.
Yeah.
and it took a long time. And I still fight my own ego sometimes, but I finally learned that I can, and that's the most important part, is that I know that I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And I can admit that. So that helped a lot.
This has become a very zen part of the.
Dude, I'm
sorry about that.
Every time I interview with
sorry
you,
about that.
it's like it was the same thing when me and Kim interviewed with you. It's like I want to be like fun and lighthearted, but it's like we're sitting here dropping knowledge on people. So I'm just like, I don't know, man. Shit, maybe that's just who I am.
I think it is who you are. I think it is who you are, and it's who you are to your core. And both of you, and it's you guys both are coming from the same place in your hearts. It's from different, from, we all have our lives, and we've all like grown up a certain way. Obviously there's age difference, but it shows people too that this can work, that this can work. You have to make it work. You have to work hard. And that's part of the work of what you're doing, is the work between yourselves, like the employees. Like, people don't get that part, because that's not easy.
Right.
I know people that have toxic employees, and it's difficult.
That's what's so important, is like for us doing this interview, like, we just want to be honest and open, and we want people to see who we are. But at the same time, like, if you were to come out here on a Saturday, we're having fun, we're laughing, we're joking, we're drinking beer, like, we cut up, but like, there is a serious side to us that we want to show in things like this.
Yeah.
This is who we are.
Yeah.
This is important to me. This isn't just, and I've said it before, this isn't just a job. It isn't just a paycheck. Like, this is literally who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Sunbird is who we are, and it's, it's serious to us. So like, we do take it serious, and it is important to be able to share with people what it took for us. 'Cause it's like, the other aspect of that is, if you think about the fact that we're barely creeping up on a year. So we've gone through and experienced so much like joy and turmoil and frustration and growth, that it's important to document it and share it, so that not only other people can see it and understand that they're not alone if they need to talk, but just to see, for us down the road. I mean, a year ago, I can go back and watch our interview, and I can go watch this interview in another year and just see how much has changed, or how much has stayed the same too.
That's what I'm hopeful for people, that when I do talk to them, is that they can go back and see how much, like, see what they had thought the future was going to hold, and then see how much of it came true. And because we forget a lot of this stuff, and I think I wish I journaled more about things, because I think it would be interesting. But then I've looked at old journals when I was a kid, and it was like, I got some ice cream, and I did I'm like, how you? It wasn't what I was thinking. It was just like stupid stuff like that. But
well, I mean, the big thing is that however we talk about things, the stories we tell, the stories of the challenges that we've had to do together to get to a point, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, it spills over into our food, because we both want the same thing. We want to do the best that we can do and know how to do.
Yeah.
And it's paying off. So it's like, egos, that's nothing. Pride, it'll take you down real quick.
Yeah.
Getting along with your partner, at the end of the day, numbers, money, status, but I would give up that to just be his friend.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I wanted to see what you guys, like, what the future holds for you guys, and what things, like, what can people expect kind of down the road, and like the near future as well as the future. But where is, because I know, but where is Longview?
So we are an hour and a half east of Dallas.
Okay.
About an hour and a half. We're about 45 minutes west of Shreveport. Thank you. And about the same from Tyler. About 45 minutes. I'm terrible with directions.
Okay. I bet you 70% of the people watching this are as well.
Yeah. But it's like, I tell people all the time, and I'm pretty sure I've said it with one of our interviews. It's like, you know, a lot of people will be like, oh man, I wish I could come out and see you, but you're so far. I'm going to Dallas this weekend, or I'm going to Austin. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you'll go and wait in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours in a barbecue line. You can drive an hour and a half to come see us and wait in line for 20 minutes, you know, like we're not that far. You'll wait in line longer at most places than it'll take you to get here.
And a good drive is a long, like not a long, it's not that long, an hour and a half. And that kind of drive is good for your soul. I feel like it's those, it gives you time to contemplate, maybe listen to a podcast or some good music, or just the sound of the wheels on the road. It's like, it's good. It's an hour and a half. I always think it's like in my head too. I think everyone just thinks it's further. It's not further. It's not.
No, we're not that far, and it's super easy to get here. I mean, once you get into town, we're just right down 259, you know, super easy to find. And as far as the future, you know, we've been talking for, God, I don't even know how long, about we're trying to get into a building.
Okay.
And, you know, you see where we're at right now, and our location and our trailer's right here. I can lift the phone up, and if you can see, there's a building right next to us. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, you can.
But that's where we're trying to go. And we've been trying to get in there for a while. It looks like, you know, fingers crossed, hopefully in the next few months, we're hoping soon to start finally working on renovating it. So that's,
what is it right now?
Nothing.
Empty.
It's empty. Yeah, it was, when we first opened, it was a little taco shop.
Okay.
And then they've been gone for months. Yeah, months and months they've been gone.
Does it have seating inside, or would be something you build out seating, or?
No, literally right now it's just a shell. I mean, there's nothing in there.
Okay.
But, you know, the first thing that we're going to do once we settle some legal things that we're dealing with right now, we're going to start working on the kitchen so that we can use that as our prep kitchen. Instead of going across the parking lot, it'll just be right next to us.
Right.
And then as soon as the kitchen's ready, then we'll work on the dining room so people can sit inside. It also has a covered patio as well. And so, you know, it's going to take a while for us to get it nice. All we're going to do right now is get it usable, because we don't have a disposable income. So, so we're going to just kind of work on it as we can, because we're just going to be, at least for right now, you know, maybe we'll get lucky and the option to buy will come up. But right now it's just going to be renting it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to make it nice because we plan on being there for, well, contractually we'll be there for at least 5 years if all goes as planned. So it'll be nice, and, you know, maybe we'll get lucky and we can buy it. But we love this location. We've built a pretty nice following where we're at. We're not inside the city limits of Longview, but we're, you know, a 5-minute drive from the actual city.
And the thing I also too, that, you know, we added, you know, like 5 picnic tables in front of the trailer right now.
Okay.
And what's so great is that people are taking advantage of that, sitting down, just having great barbecue.
I love that.
But the biggest thing is that there's people that they don't even know each other, and they're treating it as a community table, you know, where they'll say, hey, is anybody going to sit here? No. You mind if we join you? No, go ahead, join, you know. So they're taking advantage of the tables that we want, because they love sitting outside when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're making strides to what we want to do.
Yeah, you're creating that community.
Used to, yeah, and just coming out and being able to sit back. You know, we're outside the city limits, like Bryan said. I mean, we have people that they've actually loaded up their little ice chest cooler with their favorite beverages and just come out and hang out for a few hours, and, you know, grab a few tacos here and a few tacos there, just to be able to hang out.
Yeah, we never even finished talking
So-
about the menu.
Yeah,
We
I was
never-
gonna say,
yeah,
yeah, Brian, I remember that too. I'm like,
So-
there's sandwiches and tacos.
So we're doing tacos, and those things, people are ordering those by 3 dozen at a time. They'll take and the green sauce. I make the green sauce that goes along, salsa that goes along with them. That's something you can get here that maybe you can't get at a chain or a typical barbecue place. So we have tacos. You can add brisket to it, brisket tacos, pork tacos. We also, and this is taken off, we also started doing turkey tacos.
I was gonna say,
Where,
I've never
because
thought
we
of
cook
turkey
with real
tacos.
turkey breast. It's not, a warmed up ball of turkey pieces.
Mhm.
This is real turkey breast that we use. And people are loving the turkey tacos.
That's a great idea because
So-
chicken tacos are good. So why wouldn't turkey tacos be good? That's great.
I mean, it's all the things that we're able to do that's making it so fun.
And what
for
sandwiches
us.
do you guys have?
So same thing. I mean, every day you can get a brisket sandwich, pulled pork, turkey, sausage. We have a similar sandwich we used to sell at our last stop. We don't have a name for it. We just call it a brisket and sausage sandwich. We'll do that, every day. We'll do as a special sometimes, which hopefully once we get our own space, we'll have it more often. But we do burgers that we do out of brisket. And when
That's
we
a
do
special,
that,
right? That'd be a special, right?
yeah, it's a special right now. Yeah, but it's 100% brisket. And then, of course, we season it. And then when we do the burgers, we also have a burger melt. We call it a brisket burger melt. So it'll be, a smoked burger that we smoke and finish over charcoal. And then it'll have, we smoke brisket. Of course, we smoke brisket. We smoke some jalapenos and onions. And then we'll chop that up with brisket, put that on top of the burger. And then Kimmy makes like a nacho sauce. Like when we originally had this idea, I was just gonna go to the store and buy Uncle Julio's the nacho cheese sauce you can get, and she was like, "No, I'll come up with a recipe." And I'm very glad that I said, "Okay, sure, yeah." So she makes that sauce, and then we put that over the top, and then that same nacho sauce we'll use and also do as a special. We'll do some nachos. Same thing. You can get brisket, pork, turkey, whatever you want. And then we'll take the charro beans that she makes every day, and we will refry those, blend those up. And so it'll have refried charro beans, meat, then the cheese sauce, cotija cheese, and then David's green sauce that he makes. We turn that into. We originally created it for our boudin balls. We made our take on a remoulade.
Oh yeah.
And we just I say we. This is all Kimmy. It was just I was like, hey, what if you did this? And so she ran with it. And so she made her take on a Cajun remoulade and put the Twex. Jesus. A Tex-Mex twist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tex-Mex.
Sometimes my brain gets jumbled.
Yeah, your
your
mouth doesn't work as fast as your brain. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Go back to this. A Tex-Mex, so it has a Tex-Mex.
Yeah, so
I
she
can't even
makes
say
that
that.
little. Yeah, see, you got a Twex.
Twex-Mex. That's maybe we created a word.
Just invented our shtick.
There you go.
Twex-Mex.
So
anyway, so she makes that, and then we put that on nachos, and that I just put it on everything. I say it's so good you can put it on a shoe and eat it.
Yeah.
Well, the green sauce sounds like it would be something good on a shoe too.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's cool is we just kind of take all of the stuff that we have every day, and we just kind of figure out ways to twist it or tweak it to make something new. So certain specials we run, it's not really any extra work. Maybe we go buy chips for nachos or so stuff like that.
And you have that freedom that you can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, and not have to answer to someone asking me why.
And it's refreshing because a lot of people are stuck in certain situations, and I've even had people write, like a guy wrote me from Australia. He said, I've listened to a lot of your podcasts at my desk. almost crying, hating my job, and now I'm doing barbecue, and I hope he's successful, and I hope he listens to this one, because I would hate to steer anybody in the wrong direction. But I think it's something that it shows that, you know, hard work, passion, diligence, understanding.
Yes.
And you know, and it's, I think you guys are smarter people because of the things that you've had to go through. I think that you've at least smarter within yourselves, that you've understood how to you know, negotiate this. This is
for sure. And we've always had a pretty clear path on, you know, how we wanted to grow
Right.
Sunbird, you know, and we, you know, we've tried to do it in a way where we don't think that we're bigger than we are.
Right.
We try to stay humble and just let our food do the talking, you know. Right. You're never going to see us out and about running our mouths or on social media. Like, we keep our heads down and we just work. Yeah. And if anyone learns anything, hopefully they learn from us that, you know, if you have a dream and a passion, if you got the product to back it up, man, just let your hard work do all the talking.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And it's with the best way to get all the updates would be at on Instagram. Would that be the best way with Sunbird, or like what's the best way to
with Sunbird, anything, but not so much Twitter. Like, I need to use Twitter more than I do, but Instagram and Facebook for sure.
Okay.
And we're all across all platforms. It's Sunbird BBQ. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even email. It's just Sunbird BBQ on everything.
And Sunbird BBQ at Gmail, isn't that the
Gmail for the email? But then like social media, just Sunbird BBQ.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, just want to follow us, like, we post all of our specials that we're going to run every day. And I try as best I can to respond to messages and comments and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the best place to get everything you need.
So if you're headed out and you want to know what specials, you just look on social media. That's probably the best way.
Yeah,
and
I always
best
post,
way.
Yeah, I always post the night before. So tonight I'll post.
Oh, okay. The night before.
Tomorrow as far as specials. Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's good to know. And it's and you're gonna get the all the traditional Texas barbecue, but with your own twist.
And I'm hoping that maybe the next list that comes out, hopefully we'll be a part of it, so that people will venture out this way. We're in that time period right now where the list is still so fresh and so new that people are hitting up all those places, as they should. We're friends with a lot of those places, but
this is the summer
coming out
list, probably. Yeah.
And if you're coming, one thing is, it's like, Stanley's is on the list, and then like honorable mention, I think it was Gabe at Paulsville, at the Bodacious at Paulsville, and then Stephen Joseph and Jefferson at Riverport, and those are our friends. So it's like, if you're coming out here to do the list, man, just kind of scoot on down over to us too,
Definitely. Most definitely. Well, thank you guys. This was awesome. I and people always say, like, Kevin, like, it's just like a conversation. And I hope that that's what this is, because I feel like I know you so much more, Dave, and I can't wait to see you in person and hang out with you in person. And this is just, Bryan, it's always good to see you and say hi to Kimmy. And this is great. You guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll shoot you guys some questions and stuff. But nice to meet you, Dave. This is killer. This was so much fun.
Thanks, man. We had a great time.
All right. Have a good rest of your day. Take care, guys.
All right. Thanks, man.
Bye.